The 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is one of those fascinating coins that most people would simply pass by without ever realizing its true potential. At first glance, it looks like just another ordinary penny that you might receive back as change at the grocery store or find tucked away in a jar on the counter. But to coin collectors and numismatists, this particular year and variety of the Lincoln cent carries with it a surprising level of intrigue, rarity, and value. Today, we are going to take a long, deep dive into the world of the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, uncover its history, discuss why it is so valuable, and explore how this small copper-plated zinc coin that only costs 1 cent to spend in circulation has reached a current market value of an incredible $49,900. When we think about Lincoln cents, it is important to start with the broader story of the Lincoln penny itself. This iconic coin was first issued in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was also the very first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical figure rather than an allegorical representation of liberty. Victor David Brenner designed the coin, and the obverse side still carries his portrait of Lincoln more than a century later. Over the years, the Lincoln cent has seen many subtle design changes, composition changes, and minting adjustments, and the 1998 penny falls right into the heart of one of these important periods. By 1998, the composition of the Lincoln cent had long since changed from solid copper to a primarily zinc coin with a thin copper plating. This switch took place in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. Therefore, the 1998 penny is made up of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. Even though the metallic value is extremely small, the collectible and historical value can be enormous, especially when minting errors, variations, and rare conditions are involved. Now, let us turn our attention specifically to the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. The absence of a mint mark is significant. For those unfamiliar, the mint mark on a coin is a small letter that indicates the U.S. mint facility where the coin was produced. For pennies of this era, coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint did not carry a mint mark. Denver used a D, San Francisco used an S, and West Point sometimes used a W. So when we say 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny, we are referring to a coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While millions upon millions of coins were produced there, only a handful of high-quality, well-preserved, or error-struck coins have risen to immense value. This particular coin is not just any Philadelphia strike. What makes the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so interesting and valuable is a combination of rarity in condition and specific die varieties that collectors chase. Among the most famous is the 1998 Close AM variety, which is highly sought after. On most coins of that year, the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are spaced apart, known as the wide AM. But on a small number of coins struck with a proof die intended for special mint sets, the A and M are close together. That tiny detail creates a rare and highly valuable variety, and collectors are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for a high-grade example. Let's go deeper into this Close AM story. In 1993, the U.S. Mint modified the design of the Lincoln cent reverse for proof coins, which are struck with special dies and intended for collectors. One of the changes involved the spacing between the A and the M in the word America. Proof coins featured the Close AM, while business strikes were meant to retain the wide AM. However, somehow proof dies were mistakenly used on some business strike coins in 1998, leading to circulation pennies that carry the proof design detail. These coins are very rare and difficult to find, which explains why they have skyrocketed in value. For collectors, spotting this difference requires close attention. The A and the M in America on the reverse of the coin should be nearly touching for the Close AM variety. On the regular wide AM, there is a noticeable space between the two letters. Another helpful marker is the design detail of the letters FG, which are the initials of Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse. On the Close AM variety, the FG initials are slightly different in positioning compared to the wide AM coins. These small diagnostics make all the difference, and trained collectors know exactly what to look for when hunting through change or coin rolls.so. Now we understand why the 1998 no-mint mark penny can be so rare. But rarity alone is not the only driver of value. Condition plays a massive role in determining just how much a coin is worth. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin with no flaws under magnification. Most coins that circulate through pockets, purses, and registers will pick up scratches, dings, and wear. A circulated 1998 penny without a mint mark might only be worth a cent or perhaps a few dollars if it happens to be the close AM variety, but shows signs of wear. But in mint state condition, especially at higher levels like MS67 or MS68, the value can soar dramatically. Auction records demonstrate this phenomenon. Collectors and investors have paid thousands and even tens of thousands for pristine examples of the 1998 close AM penny. The current market value for the best preserved and rarest examples has reached an astounding $49,900. That means if you happen to stumble across one in pocket change that has been kept in unusually good condition, you could be holding a coin worth more than many brand new cars. This is why so many people are drawn to coin collecting and coin searching. The thrill of finding something rare and valuable hiding in plain sight is a powerful motivator. Imagine going through an old jar of pennies at home, perhaps coins collected over the years, and discovering a 1998 penny that looks unusually crisp. By simply checking the AM spacing on the reverse, you could uncover a life-changing treasure. The story of the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is also a reminder of the human side of minting. Despite modern technology, errors and mix-ups still occur. The transfer of proof dies into circulation striking created these rare varieties, and without those mistakes, collectors would not have these exciting finds to chase. That human element makes coin collecting even more fascinating because it highlights the unexpected quirks of history preserved in metal. For those who are seriously interested in searching for the 1998 close AM penny, here are some practical tips. First, focus on examining coins from change, banks, or bulk penny lots. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to carefully inspect the reverse of each coin. Pay attention to the A and the M in America, making sure you know the visual difference between the wide AM and the close AM. Keep an eye on the FG initials as well. When you believe you've found one, compare it to online reference images or guides to confirm. If you do find a potential treasure, the next step is to protect it immediately. Handle the coin carefully by the edges to avoid adding fingerprints or scratches. Place it in a coin flip or protective holder. At this point, you'll want to consider professional grading. Sending your coin to a third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC can authenticate it and assign a grade. A certified coin will have far greater value in the marketplace because collectors trust the accuracy and authenticity of these grading companies. The investment potential of coins like the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny cannot be overlooked. As more collectors enter the hobby and rare varieties become better known, the demand tends to increase. Coins that were once overlooked have surged in value as knowledge spreads. The close AM varieties of 1998, 1999, and 2000 pennies are perfect examples of this trend. People who found them early and held on to them have seen significant returns on their discoveries. It is also worth mentioning that the Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most popular and most collected U.S. coin series ever. Because nearly every American has handled a penny, the connection to this coin is universal. That wide interest means that rare varieties within the series, like the 1998 close AM, are always going to be in demand. The combination of wide accessibility and specific rarity makes for a perfect recipe for value. Looking forward, as more and more collectors discover the thrill of searching for rare coins, the spotlight on varieties like the 1998 no-mint mark close AM penny will only grow brighter. It is not just a piece of metal worth 1 cent, it is a piece of American history, a numismatic curiosity, and a treasure waiting to be discovered in ordinary places. To recap, the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny may look common, but if it happens to be one of the rare close AM varieties in high mint state condition, it can be worth as much as $49,900 in today's market. The year 2000 marked not just the turn of a century, but also a fascinating chapter in American coinage. Among the coins minted that year, one stands out today as an extraordinary treasure for collectors: the 2000 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. At first glance, this small copper-colored coin may look like the countless billions of Lincoln pennies in circulation, but what makes it so remarkable is its rarity, historical context, and the extraordinary current market value attached to it. Believe it or not, this penny, a denomination that most people barely think twice about, has reached an astonishing worth of $60,900 in today's coin market. That is the kind of discovery that turns ordinary change into a life-changing piece of numismatic history. To understand why the 2000 D Lincoln penny has gained such immense value, we need to step back and take a deeper look at the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was a monumental moment because this was the first time a real person, and specifically a president, was honored on a regular circulating U.S. coin. The designer was Victor David Brenner, who crafted the iconic portrait of Lincoln that still remains on the obverse, or front side, of the coin more than a century later. The reverse has gone through changes over the decades, from the wheat ears design used from 1909 to 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial design that was minted from 1959 to 2008, before eventually transitioning to the shield design we see today starting in 2010. The year 2000 Lincoln penny falls into the Lincoln Memorial era, and it proudly features the Denver Mint mark, the small letter D that indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. While billions of pennies were minted in the year 2000, most of them are only worth their face value of 1 cent, or just a few cents in circulated condition. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, mint errors, and collector demand all play a role in determining value. And that is where the story of this extraordinary penny truly begins. The 2000 D Lincoln penny worth $60,900 did not achieve that value simply because of age. After all, this coin is only about 2.5 decades old, relatively young compared to other rarities from the early 1900s. What drives the value is the combination of being a high-grade coin, possibly in mint state condition, and being tied to errors or varieties that fascinate collectors. Coins with perfect or near-perfect preservation, known as mint state or gem uncirculated, can command massive premiums at auctions. For the 2000 D penny, those preserved in pristine condition with a high grading from professional services like PCGS or NGC can skyrocket in value. Let's explore why collectors are willing to pay such massive amounts for this coin. First, we need to understand the role of mint marks and production. The Denver Mint, which is represented by the letter D under the date on the obverse side of the coin, produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies in the year 2000. Most of those coins entered circulation immediately, meaning they were tossed into pockets, dropped into vending machines, or stored in jars at home. The wear and tear of circulation quickly diminishes the sharpness of details, scratches the surfaces, and reduces their appeal to collectors. That is why finding a coin in mint state condition, untouched and unblemished by circulation, is so rare. Second, some coins from the 2000 D mintage have been linked to known varieties and errors that drive up demand. Error coins have always fascinated collectors because they represent mistakes in the minting process, which are not supposed to happen. Some of the most sought-after errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and misaligned dies. For example, certain 2000 D Lincoln pennies are known to display a doubled die reverse, where the details of the Lincoln Memorial or the lettering appear doubled under magnification. Even a minor doubling can dramatically increase the value of a coin. When paired with pristine condition, that value can soar into the tens of thousands of dollars, which is exactly how we arrive at figures like $60,900 for one of these extraordinary examples. Now let's talk about the coin market itself. The value of coins is driven by collector demand, rarity, and condition. In auctions, when two or more collectors are eager to own a specific rarity, the bidding war can send prices skyrocketing far beyond the estimated value. That's what happened with the 2000 D Lincoln penny. Collectors recognized its significance, its rarity in top condition, and its association with errors and varieties, and they bid it up to an incredible market value. This is why, if you are searching through your own pocket change or coin jars, it pays to keep an eye out for small details that most people would ignore. What looks like an ordinary penny could in fact be a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. Another important factor to discuss is coin grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless coin. A 2000D Lincoln penny in circulated condition may only grade at about XF, or extremely fine, and would be worth just a few cents or perhaps $1 to a collector. But if that same coin is found in mint state 65, 66, or higher, especially with a unique error variety, the price jumps astronomically. In fact, the top examples graded near perfection by PCGS or NGC are the ones fetching record-breaking prices at auction. Collectors want to own the finest known examples of a coin, and they are willing to pay extraordinary premiums for them. It's also fascinating to consider how common coins like the Lincoln cent can transform into millionaires' treasures when combined with rarity and error varieties. Think about it. Most people use pennies every day without ever realizing that some of them could be worth more than a brand new car, or even more than the average yearly salary. The 2000D penny is a prime example of how coin collecting is not just about history, but also about opportunity. Each coin tells a story, and some of those stories come with a fortune attached. If you're wondering how to identify a valuable 2000D Lincoln penny, here are some tips. First, examine the coin's condition. Look at the luster, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, and the details of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. A coin that looks freshly struck, with no scratches, no dents, and full original shine, has potential value. Next, check for errors or varieties. Use a magnifying glass to look at the lettering, the date, the mint mark, and the lines of the Lincoln Memorial. Doubling, distortions, or unusual markings are all red flags that you may be holding something valuable. Finally, if you suspect you have a rare example, submit it to a professional grading service to verify its authenticity and grade. Over the years, stories have emerged of lucky individuals who discovered rare Lincoln pennies by chance. Some found them in circulation, others in old coin collections inherited from relatives, and some even spotted them in rolls purchased from banks. Imagine the excitement of realizing that a coin worth 1 cent could actually be valued at $60,900. That's the kind of story that fuels the passion of collectors and inspires new generations to take a closer look at their coins. The 2000D Lincoln penny is more than just money. It's a piece of history, a connection to Abraham Lincoln, and a symbol of the intricate art of minting coins. It also serves as a reminder that hidden treasures can be found in the most ordinary places. The next time you empty your pockets or sort through change, take a moment to look at each coin carefully. Who knows? You might just discover a small copper coin that could change your life. In the world of numismatics, rarity and condition are everything. That is why the 2000D Lincoln penny has achieved such an extraordinary value. It stands as proof that even in modern coinage, treasures still exist, waiting to be found. With a market value of $60,900, this penny is not just a collector's item, it's a dream come true for anyone lucky enough to own one. So the next time you come across a 2000D penny, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Take a closer look. Inspect it for errors, admire its design, and consider its potential value. You never know when one small penny might hold the key to a fortune.